A lot of people think that great cold calling sellers are just born and they have the natural talent to speak nicely on the phone, to be confident and so on. But that's not true. Obviously, for sure, it's important to be confident and to have a great tone of voice and so on, but it's definitely not an ingredient to be successful with cold calling. I'd like to share with you here the ingredients, what we are seeing with the best cold calling salespeople, what they do differently to be successful. And number one is volume and the number of cold calls you are doing. On average, you have a cold calling success rate. This is defined by a meaningful action after a cold call between 2 and 3%. That means out of 100 calls you do, with 2 or 3 prospects, you go into a next stage. That doesn't mean it's a meeting, but it's somehow meaningful. Once more, out of 100 cold calls, 2 to 3 are moving forward. You have 2 options now. Option number 1, you do every day 10 cold calls. How long will it take to get 1 or 2 meaningful actions and next steps? If you think of 50 to 100 cold calls for 1 to 3 meaningful next steps, it will take you 5 to 10 days, which is actually 1 or 2 weeks to drive only 1 meaningful conversation forward to the next step. If your goal as a BDR, SDR is, for example, to set up 10, 20 meetings every month, it's not the right strategy. So you have to increase your volume and your numbers. And this is my number 1 ingredient for cold calling success. Take care that you have as many numbers as possible. Yeah, we will show you also how to get these numbers, especially in other playbooks with more details. But make sure you have these numbers. If not, ask your team. Check out with your leadership how you can get numbers to call as many people as possible. I recommend you really doing 100 calls per day, at least. Only the top 5% of SDRs and sellers are doing that, doing 100 calls per day, but it will pay off. Because people will be picking up and you will move 2 to 3, ideally more, meaningful conversations forward and book more meetings and close deals. And this can be done by everyone as long as you make sure you get the phone numbers and here talk with your leadership or check also out some other playbooks where you see how to get the numbers out as well. If you have the numbers, call them. So this is very important, yeah? You must ensure to prioritize volume and the numbers of cold calls before anything else. That's the most important part in doing that. Second ingredient, confidence. First of all, I want that you give yourself a shoulder clap. And really do that. Smile while you do that and give yourself a shoulder clap. Be proud of what you have achieved already. Be proud of what you have achieved already. The other side too. Good job. Say your name as well. Like, good job, Gerald. Because it can be hard. And it can be hard to maintain confidence, but only with the right level of confidence you will succeed. And that's what we want to do. How to build up confidence? Smile while you dial. That's always my number 1 hint. When you smile, you are generally in a more positive attitude. Move your body. Jump. Very important. Emotion comes from motion. That means all your emotions get created by moving your body. Very, very important. Loud and clear voice. Hello, my name is Gerald. Am I talking to Thomas? Sounds completely different than when I say, hi, my name is Gerald. Am I speaking to Thomas? Loud and clear voice. Sit also upright, or even better, stand upright, yeah? And don't forget to breathe. Inhale and exhale deeply. That was number 2. And number 3 is one of the parts we will be going into today very, very heavily in this playbook about the structure and the flow. Obviously, for sure, if you call 100 people, if you have the right confidence, the right tone, the right attitude, if you have not a little bit of structure and a flow in your call, it will be also hard to succeed. So that's very, very important. Have a read over the description as well to give you some more thoughts how the structure and flow should look like. Yeah, certain hints are already in there already. And in this playbook, especially with Harry Monkhouse, we will go into the structure he is using and the flow which guides him in there. One hint I want to give here on cold calling, it's not a discovery call. Most people you call and they have no time. So don't talk forever, but get some meaningful information out and try to book another follow-up call where the people are relaxed, they have time. That's very important from a structure and for the flow. And the other thing I want to share with you, which also I learned on the hard way, persistence, persistence, persistence. There is one sales leader out there actually, and I have to give him another call. I actually called him 2 weeks every day. He is still not picking up, but I will not give up and still call him. Mostly he's not believing in cold calls. I think it's a mistake, because cold call works and cold calling works. And studies show that at least 6 call attempts you should be doing. Why? And if you scroll down also here in the description, you see a really nice statistic, provided here that the chance of making contact is really, really heavily increasing after the 6 attempts, And the hard thing is, and it's a fact, the average call attempts are very, very low. So by just making a few more call attempts, sales reps can experience up to a 70% increase in contact rates. This is what you're aiming for. Call more often. Summarized very quickly, the volume is important, your confidence level, the structure and your flow, and persistence, persistence, persistence. Let's look into the next step here.